Right, we're going to have a look at the Mexico team, Keith, and I suppose the most familiar figure of them all is Chicharito, still up top for them very often and still one of the key players. But what else are they bringing to the table at this World Cup?
Yeah, he's still the talisman. I think in general, Juan Carlos Osorio makes changes too frequently. You know, the players he's used in qualification, ridiculous 43 players. Flits between 4 and 5 at the back. Players never really know what they're doing. Ochoa in goal, got his opportunity in 2014, done particularly well. At the back, very strong, will be a threat from set pieces if they get enough quality in that area. Guardado, central midfield, Real Betis. He is probably the key player in that area of the pitch, the creative force, very, very comfortable on the ball. Lozana has got plaudits from probably 18 months ago going into the Confederations Cup, blew a lot of teams away. His profile really rose during that. Has had a fantastic season. Vela, we know from his days at Arsenal, and as ever, Hernandez up front, they'll be hoping can provide that goal threat. But he's had a frustrating season in and out at West Ham.
OK, let's have a look at Irving Lozano. You mentioned him there, and he's one of the up-and-coming stars of Mexican football. What are his attributes?
Pacey, trickery, confidence oozing from him. I'd already mentioned about the Confederations Cup last year. He really did take a lot of teams by surprise. He's a constant outlet on that left-hand side, comfortable taking the ball. No problems whatsoever facing defenders up in 1v1 situations. Poor delivery on this occasion, but again, it's those areas that he does get into time and time again, and he's going to be very, very important today, because when you look at the Mexican team, Lyon on the right-hand side, he will play a more defensive side just to provide that little bit of cover on the right-hand side. Again here, brave, following up, gets his rewards, following up. I like him a lot, and in terms of an opportunity, youngsters to watch going into this tournament, he's certainly right up there.
Yeah, and he has obviously caught the manager's eye, and he has selected him for this first World Cup game for them. But I just want to talk about the manager a little bit, because he is an interesting character. He's been in the job since 2015. He's got a 66% win ratio, which isn't bad at all. He's got them to another World Cup. But yet the Mexican press don't seem convinced, because they feel he changes things too much, and he's very unorthodox. What do they mean by that?
Well, if you change too much, and if there's so many players used, because obviously once you start using players, after about 6, 8, 9 months, you should have an idea which the players are you trust and you want to work with, and which are the ones who you're not. And I think sometimes the press in Mexico questions exactly that. I've not got a problem with an unorthodox manager, as long as you don't lose faith and trust and respect for him. Because sometimes when you change too much, it'll be a talk in the dressing room, because the guys will say, well, what's he doing now? What we meant to do, what we're trying to do. As long as the respect for the manager hasn't suffered, which it doesn't seem to, because results they've been mixed, but they haven't really been bad in the lead up to the tournament. You know, in November, you know, they beat Poland, they got a draw against Belgium. So, you know, I think they got to another World Cup. The results are still there. And they seem to be united in the cause, and you know, I think it's not the first time we see an unorthodox manager, or a manager who's maybe a bit different to the rest of us. Yeah,
I read an interesting quote from a Mexican journalist, Esteban Illades. I think I got that correct, but he concluded after their 7-0 defeat at the 2016 Copa America to Chile, he concluded that the embarrassment could have been avoided playing sensible football and not trying to reinvent the wheel. Now, when you hear a journalist say something like that, it suggests that some of his ideas are a little bit extreme, but maybe he'll temper those, seeing as they're now the World Cup.
He divides opinion, there's no doubt about that, and I think he would divide opinion even amongst the players in terms of the team selection, the rotations, the different systems. It's not ideal from a player's perspective, but you can't argue with his record. The one problem I would have with him was not so much today against Germany, because I think you do need to tinker your tactics going into an opposition such as Germany. He concentrates too much on the opposition in the main. Right. And I think as a player, you feel that. If you feel that the manager is giving the opposition more respect and concentrating on them way more than his own team just to counteract what they do, you feel that as a player. It's as if your manager hasn't got that much confidence in you.